Attorney Jerome Payne. Live TV talk on your digital device, on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Download the SVP TV app right now. Check us out every Tuesday on Comcast Cable, Channel 17, 8:30 p.m. And we are live every Friday on Facebook Live, 6 o'clock in the evening. You've got a question, our attorneys have the answer. So let's talk law with Attorney Daryl O'Neill on the SVP TV network.
Welcome to Talking Law with Daryl O'Neill. I'm your host. I got my main man, Jerome.
What's going on, Daryl? How are you tonight?
Man, another day in the neighborhood.
Well, the neighborhood has changed.
The neighborhood, there's another day.
Yeah.
We're not in the neighborhood.
Not in the neighborhood anymore.
Yeah, the neighborhood has changed.
Yeah.
For the last two shows, so this makes our third iteration.
That's right.
We've talked about voting and voting rights and different things of that nature. And the real question here is, what is your power? What is your power to control the narrative?
That's awesome. That's awesome, Darren.
I say this all the time, Jerome, and it sounds messed up when I say it.
Uh-huh.
There was a time when black politicians took turns.
Interesting.
And what that was is,
Interesting.
Jerome, you the name right now.
Right.
So you go ahead and run for office.
Right.
And then I'm gonna ride in your coat pocket. And then when your term ends, I'm gonna get the next office.
Right. I got you.
But there's no mentorship now. We look at this redistricting, and the first thing we do in looking at this redistricting is the negative of it. Look, it's happened. The Court of Appeals the federal court just denied the the claim.
Right.
So, and then something like that happened in Virginia, and the U.S. Supreme Court denied cert on it. They were redistricting in Virginia also.
Right.
Yeah. So, and they denied cert on it. So, I said all that to say, you got to strategize and have a plan on how to make yourself viable.
I think you're absolutely right about that, Darren. You're right.
So,
and that's one of the problems that we sometimes as African Americans, we always react to something after it's gone down. But for one thing, there, we've never seen this kind of behavior from the opposing party, so to speak. So in 3 days, they destroyed what it took 50 years
50?
to obtain.
It's longer than that.
I'm just talking about the Voting Rights Act.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm talking about that. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh.
I'm talking about that. I'm not talking about the long history. I'm just talking about what happened over a 50-year period.
Yeah.
And then they went into session and in 3 days just ripped it right on. Just like went right for the throat. And that's how they operate.
Well, so here's where, there was a time that the Tennessee legislature was predominantly Democrat. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, absolutely. I know. And they had a long run.
They had a long run.
But
I don't know what happened.
We started having all the corruption and stuff that they, the Tennessee horse or something they called it.
The Tennessee
Waltz. Yeah, they started getting all these politicians who were, taking money and doing some other kinds of things.
Oh my God.
And all of a sudden it flipped.
Yeah.
And we've been suffering ever since then.
Well, all right, so Jerome, let's give our shout outs.
All right, man. Yeah.
Let's give our shout outs to California, shout outs to Little Rock, Arkansas, shout outs to West Memphis, Arkansas, shout out to Memphis, Shelby County, shout out to Mississippi, shout out to the great state of Missouri, and shout out to my wife, my family. Adrian is all, I'm giving your name again. Shout out to Jerome.
Hey, you all. Hey, Gwen.
And his family. And Gwen.
Yeah.
If you have a Facebook Live, you have YouTube Live, you have the SVP TV network app, you have Apple TV or that Fire Stick, you can call in and we'll answer any question that you have right up front.
No question about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in fact, we have a question that was a criminal question that we need to answer and talk online about.
Okay, sounds good, Daryl.
So here's the question. The question is, person gets convicted of a crime,
Okay.
serves some time, right, and released on parole, probation, or whatever the case may be, probation rather, and while right as he gets released on probation, the Court of Appeals reversed this conviction. And the question becomes whether or not, what kind of rights does he have in that scenario?
Well, immediately several things come to mind there. You know, and we always call this, as lawyers, we call it a case of first impression. Because I haven't done criminal law in a long time, I'm going to say that right up front. But there's some basic constitutional type things that I'm concerned about. One, was he convicted by a jury, or was it a bench trial? That makes a difference.
Does it?
Absolutely does.
Well, okay, let me just...
it's hard to set aside
I don't think I agree.
a verdict
The Court of Appeals has done that.
by a jury, right?
Yeah, the Court of Appeals did that. It don't matter whether it's a bench trial or jury. They already set it aside.
I was thinking that you couldn't do that unless there was some improper things that the jury had done. It's much hard, because first of all, the correct way is the motion for a new trial, isn't it?
Well, that would be a way.
Okay.
But, you can appeal.
And so how do you get straight to the appeals court?
Yeah. What ends up happening is, and every state's a little different. Tennessee has, in civil cases, I don't know about criminal.
Okay.
But in Tennessee, in civil cases, if you want to appeal the verdict of a jury, not a judge, if you want to appeal the verdict of a jury, you have to file a post-trial motion.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
And they always talk about and with the Court of Appeals, because I've done this, the Court of Appeals will accept any post-judgment motion.
Okay.
If you look at the rule, it kind of says that you're supposed to file a motion for a new trial.
Okay.
Or a motion to alter, amend, or whatever the
That's
case may
right.
be.
That's what I was thinking.
Or a
yeah.
motion, the notwithstanding the verdict. Any of those different things, right? But even if you file those things, and the court doesn't grant it, it doesn't get whatever, and then the case goes up to the Court of Appeals.
Okay.
The Court of Appeals their hands are halfway tied. They're not fully tied.
Okay.
And they're tied to, they can't go back and reweigh evidence.
Exactly.
That's where their hands are tied. They cannot go back and reweigh evidence. So if the evidence supports your conviction, they're going to just affirm it.
Okay.
But the problem with that is, if the Court of Appeals looks at the facts, right, and the facts are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but the elements of the crime is 7 elements of the crime.
Okay.
You only got 5 facts in there. You're missing 2 of the elements. I don't care what the jury did. That case gets reversed. As a matter of law, it should have been granted a directed verdict.
Interesting,
Yeah.
because and that's error. That's plain error, right?
Plain error.
What they call it. So yeah, I can see that. But it seems to me like the trial court gets a lot of deference.
They do.
From all of the other courts. And so the trial court apparently missed the fact that the elements were missing. And that's why, thus they sustain the jury's
again,
verdict,
I don't
right?
know what motions or what things people filed or
Right.
filed in these particular cases, right? But I mean, even here in Shelby County, I've filed things and I've said, hey, judge, you can't do this. And they were like, yeah, I can, watch me. And they do it. And, you like me, I tell people all the time, I don't sit there and argue with the judge. I don't get indignant with them. I don't call them names. I don't roll my eyes. I don't smack my lips. I don't walk out the courtroom like, none of that stuff. Because here's what I know.
Right.
If the judge, which is their job to be the arbiter of law.
The trial of fact.
The trial of law.
Right.
Yeah.
Law of fact, everything, right?
If that's their job,
right.
then they got a job to do.
That's right.
And if I don't like what the job they do,
Right.
or even how they do it, I go see the 3 wise men.
Oh, and you can always do that. That's your right.
That's your right.
Right.
I can go file an appeal.
Right.
And it don't matter what the judge said or what the judge did. If the Court of Appeals look at it and say, that ain't right. Not that it's not factually right. It's not element right. And because it's not element right, it doesn't meet the...
I agree with that.
So it doesn't meet the crime.
I mean, that's slam dunk if the elements are not there, because that's one of the criteria, is that every element, and you know, and the scrutiny is much higher in criminal.
It is.
When you're depriving someone of their rights.
Yeah.
Freedom,
I have never understood some of the convictions I see.
Oh, really?
Never understood it. Let me just tell you the reason why. The standard for convictions in a criminal case is beyond a reasonable doubt.
Not any doubt.
No, it is any doubt.
Just reasonable.
A reasonable doubt.
Reasonable doubt, yeah.
If you tell, if the evidence says you wasn't there,
right.
I don't care if there's no blood, there's no fingerprints, there's no video. If the evidence say you was not there, right? Then that's a problem. You were not there. But when you try a case in front of a jury, they can ignore that. They can say, oh, this other part is so compelling. Man, you know, it was brutal. Somebody got to pay for it.
Yeah.
And if they tracked him down, he's got to have done something.
Right.
And the problem, I had a client, I don't have him no more because I got the case dismissed. I had a client where the grand jury indicted him. And this is where they say the grand jury can indict a ham sandwich.
That's right. Right.
Grand jury indicted this man for theft of a vehicle that his employer was legally towing.
Okay, I got you. No, I'm just thinking.
And think about it for this a second.
Right.
How can you steal something?
Right.
Number one, while you're at work.
Right.
And number two, the work that you're doing, your employer hadn't done. They say your employer hadn't done anything wrong.
Right.
So there is no way you meet the elements.
I got you.
Because you got to meet the underlying evidence.
That's right.
Which is theft. You can't steal if it's authorized. So, you know, but the grand jury indicted this guy. Because, you know, in Tennessee, and in, you know, federal court, except for Law and Order when you watch it on TV, at the grand jury, lawyers are not there. Your client is not there. It's the prosecutor just spewing their nonsense. And the jury determines, people determine.
Right.
That's enough. Because, again, they figure you got all these what do you call it, check mark, these checks. They figure, okay, all they need to do is have some information to say that it's you that did X.
That's right.
And if they got that, then, you know, we should uphold the indictment.
That's right.
But then the next part of that is, those people are saying, and it doesn't really matter if we do this, because at some point it's going to get to the real jury, and this nonsense that the prosecutor used in the grand jury ain't going to fly in front of a real jury, and the standard is beyond a reasonable doubt.
That's right.
So every person's on the grand jury saying, hey, you know, there's a good chance that this is going to get dismissed. You know, everybody's passing the buck.
Right.
Then it goes to the jury. The jury renders a verdict, and the judge says he's the gatekeeper. That doesn't pass muster, but he let it go. You know, and that's why I don't really like a lot of criminal cases. Then you go from the trial court to the Court of Appeals. If they get lost because of the arguments and the briefs, then now all of a sudden they're going to affirm the decision. You know, so it's just one of those things. You know, it could be bad. So, but let's go forward, John. A little further, Joe. The question goes, you know, what is his rights here? So, the conviction has been overturned. Right.
So that means that he's no longer wearing a badge of
shame.
of shame,
Right.
or of even being a convicted felon.
Correct.
So all of his rights then returned
Correct.
that were stripped from him as a felon.
Right.
So that what that means is that he's just like every other citizen now, free to go about his whereabouts now,
Right.
without any restrictions.
Supposedly.
Okay, so that's the argument now, is he able to go about his business without restrictions, and it looks like they're still impairing his ability.
Well, yeah, I mean,
to move about.
I'm getting ready to get Ghetto Fabulous. Real Brothers was just went on and got some scissors and cut this mug off. Cut off these things.
I don't think that's a good idea.
But it's not a good idea.
It's not a good idea.
It's not a good idea. I mean, because they have procedures and all this other stuff.
Right.
And you don't want to incur, have done something that's a violation, even though it shouldn't have been a violation in the first place.
That's exactly right. And I think maybe
patience is where you have.
Yeah, because if you were to do that, immediately the bounty hunters probably would pounce upon you, and before you know it,
you're back in jail and you're gonna punch somebody out.
You have an incident.
Now you got another charge.
That's exactly right. Now that one's gonna stick.
Yeah.
Because you did it.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
well, if you cut it, then you destroying government property. I mean, there's a number of different things.
That's exactly right. But remember, that's how brothers always wind up with more and more going on there.
Right.
So first of all, you're driving and you don't have a driver's license.
Right.
The police get behind you and all of a sudden you decide, I'm not gonna stop. So now you're into a chase and you're going 100 miles an hour. You done ran to 2 or 3 stop signs, through a red light, and then now you done killed somebody.
Right.
Which is all started out that you had a no DL.
Yeah.
And we get those dismissed all the time.
Man, they let mugs drive. I see people, man, they have 7 episodes of driving without a license.
But see, and also too, Daryl, this get back to something we talked about not long ago too, about how young people's minds are not developed enough many times to make decisions like that. And so it's a spur of the moment thing. All of a sudden, you've seen on I can't call it what's it, Dukes of Hazzard, where they get in the car and they just
outrun the police.
You see, and so in your mind, you become one of those characters, and you start driving like an idiot. And then now you got all of these charges on you: ran a stop sign, attempted murder. Even if you don't hurt anybody, when they do finally stop you with a maneuver, now you got so many charges. Now it's going to be a long time before you see daylight.
Yeah, I can't imagine a scenario where you can outrun the police. I just can't imagine.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you the reason why. They got helicopters. They got these cameras. They got the light cameras, and they have access to all of those.
That's
things.
exactly right.
I mean, the best thing that we've ever seen somebody do, and it's not consistently good, and that would be they drive and get just a little bit ahead of the police and then
get
jump out
and run. But then that doesn't work either, because if there's a pond of water, you got to get across the water somewhere. And I just read something the other day where the police officer let a guy drown like that because he jumped out and ran and got in the water, and they said, we ain't coming in after you, and dude drowned. I think that they charged him for that too as well, for not trying to rescue. But all we're saying is that
I ain't put you there.
Use your head in every situation. And then the one thing you do is you keep a card in your pocket so you can get in touch with your counselor.
Yeah, but going a little bit further though, every state has, well, not saying every state, I know Tennessee has it, where if a person's been wrongfully convicted, they are allowed to get, they have a fund.
That's right.
To pay them. They come up with some kind of dollar rate and
that's right.
multiply that for how long you were in jail, and then they give you a check based off of that. In Tennessee, the unfortunate part is it got to be approved by, I can't remember what the agency is, but it's got to be approved.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And so, but the other thing is you could sue for, Now, if you can make it out, if you can make the elements, malicious prosecution.
That's right.
You know, but if there's any justification for your prosecution, that malicious prosecution thing will die.
It's going to fail.
I mean, and if it's reasonable.
Right.
Not any, I mean, if it's reasonable.
That's right.
That, you've done something, then that malicious prosecution is going to fail. So, now let's back up, Jerome. Let's go back to where we were.
Okay.
One of the things you said in here, man, or said, is that Shelby County has been a self-contained district forever.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was not a black district, Jerome.
Oh,
I don't know
years,
why people keep trying to say it was a black district. It was not a black district. Shelby County and Memphis basically had their own, they had the District 9 was that.
That's right.
And basically it encompassed that area. Shelby County had basically 1 million people in it at that, give or take all around. Mm-hmm. And they had the voting power to control that 9th district, and it was never a problem when that 9th district was predominantly not black. Once that 9th district became predominantly black, then the chances of a Republican winning that 9th congressional district became slim and none.
That's right.
So what we had in Tennessee, we had 9 districts, 8 of them were Republican, and 1 of them was a Democrat. And that's been going on since Harold Ford Sr.
That's right.
And so that's kind of how that's worked.
Yes.
So what they've done is they changed an area. The redistricting basically took took Memphis and Shelby County, well, Memphis mostly, and cut it up into 3 different sections. And they mirrored them along with other sections that had substantially more people in, and then that way they couldn't control those districts.
That's the whole idea, is that if we flood enough Republicans into this newly designed 9th district, it's going to ultimately be a Republican representative from it. But Daryl, you know what? Many times the things can switch on you without you knowing it, because the way that the people in Tennessee have been treated by the Republicans, it might be because now they got some competition now. Have you seen that? At least 2 or 3 Democrats have decided that they're going to run in some of these Republican-drawn districts too now. And so,
well, they used to be. Oh, you talking about the federal district?
Yeah, because they wouldn't even. I mean, because why pull a petition in a Republican district and you black? You just know you don't have a chance of winning.
Right.
But now they have competition, and it might be that they can wind up winning one of those, Daryl.
Well,
what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you, though. And here's the thing, Jerome. Everybody wants to talk about what the Democrats have done, and we won't talk about what the Republicans done. But Tennessee doesn't get that right, because everything in Tennessee is Republican. You got a Republican governor. 8 of the 9 districts are Republican in the Congress.
Right.
So 8 of the 9 congressmen out of Tennessee are Republican. You got a Republican state supermajority in the legislature, in the House and in the Senate. So everything that's going good, bad, or indifferent in Tennessee, you can cast that right on the Republican doorstep.
That's exactly right. And that's why I believe they're going to turn the tables on them this time, Daryl. I got a feeling that this is going to blow up in their faces, because everybody in Tennessee so far is suffering.
Yeah.
Gas prices, the economy is not booming. Jobs are being taken away. They wouldn't feed the children in the summertime. It's so much stuff that the Republicans have been doing. What we need to do is form coalitions with some other groups. those Hispanics who thought that they were voting for Republicans because they were going to treat them a certain way. They found out
I
different.
don't know what the hell they thought, because Trump made it real clear that if you were Hispanic, you were getting put out the country.
I don't understand it either. There, how they stood up and said. I saw something the other day where one lady said that Donald Trump was the next thing to God.
Yeah.
And then they deported her the following week. So you're right.
Yeah,
said,
I mean,
right.
Yeah, I mean, if you right now, the jobs, the economy.
That's right.
You know, the gas, which is part of the economy, you can put that all on the footsteps of the Republicans.
That's exactly right.
The fact that health care is going to go up 3 times.
Exactly right.
You can put that all, and look, everybody want to talk about this, you know, Affordable Health Act or Obamacare, whatever you want to call it, and try to say something stupid like, you know, it only helped black people. Hey, idiot, it helped a whole lot of people.
That's right.
And it helped, I mean, it helped millions of people.
No
I mean, what is it, 350 million people in the United States? I guarantee you that that Affordable Health Care Act helped probably 100 million of them.
There's no question about that, Daryl. Yeah.
And we don't have 100 million blacks in the United States.
That's exactly right.
You know.
And that's what people have failed to realize. And we talked about it too. You know, unfortunately, we keep repeating the same things over and over again. And you have to do that because the people still act the same way over and over again. So social programs just barely help black people because it's not as many black people who
they want to make it out like they want to make it out like it's all black people.
Right.
Yeah, you know, this is all for the Democrats.
Right.
But you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think it's her name. Marjorie Taylor Greene fell out with the Republican Party.
Oh my goodness!
And she fell out because her family was getting this affordable health care stuff.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Oh, and they were getting some of these other benefits that, you know, the Republicans say that nobody's entitled to.
Right.
It put a damper on her family, and she could not stand for that.
I didn't realize
so
that.
Family took precedence over her politics for the first time because she was as radical as you can be.
What you talking about?
I mean, she would say things that would be so crazy, you know. But again, if you watch some of these conversations and people, you know, all these people that lost their job, man, I didn't know that was going to happen to me. Hey, genius,
yes.
He said that would.
Yes.
You think that he could actually say, well, if you're a Republican, put on your job application Republican, and we go past you.
Right, right.
Come on, y'all. Come on now.
But that's just how people think, you know, and as long as it's not in my front door, I'm not concerned about it. And so that's why we have to be concerned about our neighbors. Many things that we do in life is not necessarily for our own benefit, it's for the community. And that's why we, that's what this show is all about serving the community to make them aware of what their rights are, how do you attack these unjust situations, how do you enforce the rules, how do you make politicians be responsible? All those things are a part of the show.
Yeah, and you know, Jerome, here's one of the things. Look, you said this, and we're getting close on time, so we'll try to end with this.
Okay.
But you said this. You have to build bonds.
Yes.
You have to build coalitions.
Yes.
And, you know, the Civil Rights Movement and the Civil Rights Act did not come in, I'm talking about, you know, of 1964.
Right.
Did not come in effect just because of black people.
That's for sure.
And it didn't come in effect because black people were getting beat up.
That's for sure.
And get, you know, chased by dogs and getting, you know, water hosed. That didn't change the landscape. What changed the landscape is the TV. Because once people start seeing that on TV, right, they were like, oh my God, that's disgusting.
People of goodwill.
Of goodwill. And there are way more goodwill people than people give credit for.
I'm glad we're saying that.
Yeah, there's way, again, if you sit down and, you know, I have a couple friends, I have specifically one that he wouldn't vote Democrat to save his soul.
If his house was burning
If
down.
his house was burning down, he would not. And I got a friend that's a Democrat that he would not vote Republican. I don't care who's running in it. So when you get that staunch with your ideology, you're stuck on stupid.
I agree. I agree that that the platforms don't. If you can't watch the platform and make a decision, then you are stuck on stupid.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a Republican politician present a platform that's favorable to people of color. I would probably have to really hold my hand tight to try to pull something for. But Sundquist was a pretty decent governor.
Yeah, Sundquist.
I think his wife lived in Memphis, and so he had some kind of favorability for Memphis. But no one else has really looked at Memphis the way that Memphis deserves to be treated. Just like
is Alexander from Memphis?
Lamar, I don't remember.
Okay.
But I do know
Shelby County.
I do know that Touche said some very important stuff the last time we had our show. I was enthralled by him being there because he said it's like a relationship. You wouldn't keep on sending your daughter or your mother or your sister into a relationship where she's been abused over and over again, and you keep telling her, no, go back home, go back.
Yeah.
That's the way we are now.
Well,
we're
again,
getting abused there over and over again.
Yeah, and again, you know, you can believe whatever you want.
That's right. That's right.
And you can vote any way you want. But, you know, I'm a person of evidence. Because that's what we do, Jerome.
That's right.
We present evidence.
That's right.
And all you got to do is, where is Tennessee and why is it where it is? Because everything in Tennessee is controlled by the Republican Party.
That's exactly right.
So if Tennessee is doing bad, it's because your legislators are Republican.
That's right.
If, you know, I mean, again, they are voting all the law. They're
right.
so busy trying to control Memphis and Shelby County that they ain't doing nothing else.
That's right. That's right. And so, Darryl, what do you think, as we get ready to close out, what do you think about the athletes boycotting white schools behind this redistricting thing? Not showing up
I don't know.
to play. What do you think?
They probably not
I
gonna do
think we've done that before.
not like that.
Well, now remember, you know, Mississippi had a flag that the athletes said they weren't going to go there, and they changed their flag, didn't they?
They changed the flag a couple of years ago.
But yeah, but why?
It wasn't because of athletes.
It was because the athletes said they wasn't going there.
There's nothing there. There are no there are no pro teams in Mississippi.
No, I'm talking about college. I'm talking about college kids.
Oh,
the
well,
college kids.
Yeah,
they stopped going, signing up, and so they changed their flag.
I don't know that I agree with that.
And that's okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Remember there? Yeah. That's okay. Because what? We go by what?
Evidence.
All right.
The flag got changed. But the reason why it got changed is a whole other issue.
That's okay. That's not even debated right now. Remember, we go by evidence. So it's my job to prove what I said.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching the show. We'll see you back next week.